Welcome back to Beyond Lives with Sickle Cell Disease. Today we have a guest. So kindly tell us about yourself and when you were first diagnosed with sickle cell disease.
Hello, I'm Joy, a 23-year-old living with sickle cell disease, and I was diagnosed with sickle cell disease at the age of 3.
Thank you, Joy, for sharing that. So I'd like to know, what are some of your biggest challenges you face in your day-to-day life, and how do you manage them?
When I was in high school, my biggest challenge was stigmatization and bullying, but they later learned about sickle cell and they were a bit friendly. Right now, I can't say there's so much challenges apart from the daily use of drugs that are a bit expensive.
Thank you for sharing that. So can you describe what a pain crisis feels like? For those people who don't understand, like for some people, just tell them I'm currently experiencing a pain crisis or a sickle cell crisis, but they don't understand. How would you describe to them in a layman language?
The pain is during the pain. Sometimes the pain can be a little bit, but during those crises, it really hurts very much. Yeah, on a scale of 1 to 10, I can say it's 8 to 10 most year.
So thank you for sharing that. I'm very sure that it's not easy to deal with that pain. So to my next question, I'd like to know, how has living with sickle cell disease affected your education, career, relationship, or personal goals?
On education, when you get sick, you miss classes a lot, and that will really drag you down. Yeah, so the workload in school becomes more because you missed a lot of classes. You need to learn more so as to catch up with others. Yeah. And daily to day life, you get tired easily. There's sickle cell fatigue, so doing some daily to day activities becomes a challenge.
Thank you so much, Joy, for sharing that. So what message would you like to share with people living with sickle cell disease, their families, or the local community around you?
I would like to say, for the parent and local community, you should support the people living with sickle cell because it's not easy being there. And to you, those living with sickle cell out there, I would like to say that you should never give up hope. Keep on hoping, always have fun. Whenever you're feeling good, always have fun.
Thank you so much, Joy, for sharing that. I'm very sure that our audience are going to learn more about sickle cell disease. They'll know about the challenges that you usually face. And I hope, for example, if they will have any question, they'll be able to reach you. Thank you so much, Joy, and have a good day.
Thank you.
Welcome, Nicholas, to Beyond Lives with Sickle Cell Disease. So can you tell us about yourself and at what age were you diagnosed with sickle cell disease?
Okay, thank you very much for this opportunity. My name is Nicholas Akweli. I'm a 22 years old warrior. I was diagnosed with sickle cell at birth. Yeah, they told my parents that your baby is having a sickle cell disease. So my parents didn't know currently what sickle cell. So we grew up, started growing up. At MTRH Eldoret here, there are some doctors who started telling my mom more about sickle cell, teaching her, and she knew. So when I was growing up, she started telling me that Nicholas, you have a certain disease called sickle cell, and I was like, Mom, what is sickle cell? That I was at the age of 10, didn't understand anything about sickle cell. Since from the age of 5 to 16, I was getting crisis more often. You are what can I say? I can say that in the morning you are feeling fine, but 12 at night, crisis. intense crisis. It can come chest, back, or even headache. Hey, and I used to tell my mom, why do I always feel sick, but my sister, she's always fine? And she said that she have a disease called sickle cell, and the sister is who is currently she's led. Challenges of having sickle cell. Challenges is so many. Number one, you cannot do what people can do. Like we are limited to some activities. You can say we are limited to some activities, like hiking. You know, as sickle cell warriors, but the more you go higher, the more oxygen start depleting. So we are limited to some activity like hiking, football. We are not used to heavy activities. Challenge number two, being rejected by friends. Friends reject you, they separate you from them, except they think that disease is contaminated. So challenges have been many, but for me, as I'm talking now, I'm proud of who I am. Because over 22 years, I have gone through a lot. My worst crisis was on 2024 during my KCSE. That crisis, in the middle of an exam, it came, but I dealt with it and I overcome it, and I finished my exam. So immediately, imagine you are finishing your exam and you are getting fine. During the exam, you are sick. So I was like, this sickle cell is like a curse. But since I started going to some conference occasion, we were being taught more about sickle cell disease, inheritance gene from the parent lineage, from the you inherit from generation or will pass from generation. I started to know more about things about sickle cell, and we thank God for bringing hydroxyurea. That medication is a life saving. Since I started using hydroxyurea, this is my 3 years without any crisis, apart from the leg which have been operated some days ago. I'm recovering. No, hydroxyurea is a life-changing medication. We thank God for that medication. It helps you feel yourself. You can perform in activities because it gives